these are so highly powered and activated, and so angelic, and still so fairy magic and love magic, and the stuff that this brother's been integrating and displaying here on this planet, I don't see a lot of it. And I've been seeing more of it, which is nice. But this brother, he's been rocking since I met him.
Oh, dude.
So, and look at that hair.
Oh.
I know, your hair. So, everybody, the man, the myth, the legend, John Ferris.
Okay, so I am super excited to see you guys today and all your smiling faces. And first of all, I just want to say thank you so much, all Ashley and Chanel, and Johnny, and Christine, and everybody else here who's really supported me today. And you, of course, all these beautiful ladies over here as well. So if I have a couple minutes here, I just want to share. Everybody here hopefully was here last night for VacCon and whatnot. As I said, before I get into my little talk, I just wanted to share this little chuckle that I had. Because I left here and I was so high from this talk, right? And I was like, you know what? I am not going home right now. I am going to walk the streets of Sedona, tell them that I love them, and then I'm going to ask them to be rude to me. I love you so much. I was just at VacCon. Will you please be rude to me?
I need to test it out.
I need to test this out. So anyway, I want to speak a little bit about crystals and my journey with them. But I had this this beginning of my journey was in 2010, and that's I like to say I was tricked by the universe, but I don't say that. I was inspired. Jewelry was not on my radar to begin making. And I went into a friend's shop and I saw this most beautiful amulet that I had ever seen. I brought it home, and the next day the woman asked me to bring it back. I fell in love with this thing, and she asked me to bring it back. I was heartbroken, and at the same time I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn how to make one of these for myself. And it started this whole journey. And what I want to get into is a little bit about talking about crystals and why we're so attracted to them. And I would love to ask the ladies here kind of a personal question, but who in the audience, who has crystals in your bra right now? Anybody? Oh yeah, you know.
Nice.
Okay, that's the guys who say that.
There you go. Yes.
Like they're not comfortable in our drawers, we don't know bras, so that doesn't work. So why are we so attracted to crystals? Does anybody have any thoughts? Anybody?
It's in our body.
Because it's in our body? That's a great answer. That's a great answer. I really feel like we are attracted to crystals because it's this longing for the reconnection with the soul of Pachamama, of Gaia.
Yes.
It's this really longing. And if we think about it, these crystals are the most ancient beings on the planet, okay, up to 500 million years old. And I'm saying in the physical. I don't know how old fairies and gnomes and those elementals get in age, but I'm just talking about the physical. So these very ancient beings are so incredible because they don't die, they don't decay, and they have so many amazing qualities to them, right? They have this ability to receive energy, they have ability to hold the energy, and then transmit the energy. So these are magical little creatures, and there's a big parallel that I've seen with how crystals are formed and how the first cell of an embryo happens in a woman's body, okay, in the womb here, okay. Just got this warm, juicy area right here that's growing a child, and there's a big parallel with how crystals are formed in the earth. Okay, so we have these tension joints that are in the earth, and the earth slips and creates this cave or a vacuole, right, or a womb, if you want to say, and then it becomes flooded with this steaming hydrothermal fumes. And it's highly energized and highly magnetized or mineralized. And what happens is the hydrogen molecule and the oxygen split in the solution, and it bonds with silica, right? So these little seedlings are formed in this womb, this cavern in the earth. And that's kind of the same thing as what happens in Mama, right? So these little seedlings get swished around on the sides, and they somehow land on the top or the bottom or the side, and that is how they start growing. And that's why you see, when you go into a crystal shop, you see these clusters that have all these different shapes or different angles, and they're all like going out at different angles, and so that's how that happens in the formation of crystals. And when we look at the kind of the worldwide phenomenon of crystal healing, I think every culture has their own way of doing crystal healing, but it's a worldwide phenomenon. And it comes down into a basic system, no matter what the difference is. Excuse me. One of the characteristics of the system is the origin of it. So it's either grown in this cave, or like obsidian, it's blown out of a volcano, and that affects the frequency of the vibration, or it's a tectonic that falls to the earth, and that has its own problems as well. So that's one aspect, the origin, and then we have the structure of the crystal, the mineral content, and then of course there's the color. Like, we're all affected by the color. We come to the red rocks here and we're like, oh my gosh. And by the way, there's a lot of quartz, hematite, and iron in the red rocks here. And when it gets blasted with our monsoon season, with the lightning, I think that's a big part of the reason why we feel so much energy here. Plus the kind of the shape of this bowl that we're in. Sedona's in kind of a bowl, so that's kind of like an attractor basin. But the origin is good, the structure, mineralization, and the color. And the color is like it's a thing. Look at the red rocks. Like, for example, for me, celestite really touches my soul because it's got this just beautiful angelic blue to it, or aventurine, or amethyst is another one that I'm really called to work with. And so it's this fascinating, and all of these affect the frequency of the carrier wave that's being transmitted from the crystal, right? So then when we put these crystals in our field or on our body, that synchronizes with our energy field, right? And it affects us on so many different levels. I forgot my little aura photos, but that's okay. On a mental level, it can change our thoughts or perceptions. On an emotional level, it can balance our energy, or it can help us remove blocked energy in our systems. And on a spiritual level, I really feel like it helps us even remember memories or perspectives from the past, and gives us a more balanced outlook on life. And it's very interesting because a lot of people say that I would say most people say that we are in the digital information age, right? Like, we're in this digital computerized world. And I would beg to say that we are in the crystal age, okay? And why I would say that is because we would not have computers, we would not have cell phones, we would not have medical equipment, we would not have solar panels, the list goes on and on. This crystal technology is in everything that we use today. So it's fascinating that the crystals have really become our ally. And what else would I say? So these crystals that we use in our lives have this ability to take one level of energy and transfer it to another level. For example, we all have heard about programming crystals, right? And that's a real thing. And because thought energy has a measurable electromagnetic pulse to it, when we infuse that into a crystal, the crystal has this capacity to hold that and then transmit it. So all these factors are fascinating. I started playing with crystals in 2010, and I told you this story, and I really feel super blessed to be able to offer my gift in so many ways and affect so many lives. And I just, once again, just really appreciate the love and support that you guys have shared with me over this 10-year journey. And you know, it's kind of a funny thing. Sometimes I go through these peaks and valleys with it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing the same thing. God, is there something else you want me to do? And then I come to a show like this, and then I get so much love from you guys, and I get to meet all you guys, and really have this energy transfer that we really enjoy together. And I've kind of zoned it into this level of conference to show my work at. I don't do boat shows or gun shows or anything like that. Even though that was a great suggestion from this lady that made jewelry that I met at a gym show. I was like, what? She was like, I was really successful at my jewelry business. I was like, really? What'd you do? And I said, did you do Etsy or eBay or whatnot? She's like, no. I actually did gun shows and boat shows. And I was like, really? How is that successful for you? And you think about it. The guy's there, and he's like, oh my God, I love that guy, or I love that boat. And the wife is with him. And there's usually no jewelry competition there. And the wife's like, you know, I'll let you buy the gun if you get that. So I haven't tried a show or a boat show, but I think that would be fun. So what do you guys, I'd like to open a conversation with you guys. What's your relationship with crystals? What do you, any stories you want to share? Like your Moldavite disappearing, or does anybody have that happen? Right? Like, where'd my Moldavite go? Then it comes back as darn early, it's still gonna be good. So, but anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you have any questions, or?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I haven't worked that much with crystals, and it's like recently, it's like really clear that I need to, you know, to start deepening my relationship with crystals. And so like, I'm trying to understand how I can use, and petrified wood is the one that's been coming to me.
Oh, interesting.
And like how to use crystals as an ally to, you know, going toward deeper into my purpose here.
Okay, that's a great question. I would say start having these conversations with the crystals that you buy. Really start meditating with them, holding them, even asking them questions, and really tuning into this field. I mean, working with them, I would say that, like when we place, for example, when we have a crystal, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation, but I do have a crystal, so this will be my PowerPoint. When we want to program a crystal, or this is a basic way to do it, there's plenty of articles online to do that, but it's basically clearing your field, holding this crystal, you may want to put your hand on it, and then really communicate your thoughts and wishes, and that will stay in the crystal. And when I sell an amulet, if I have time, I'll make some time to really do a little prayer with the person and set the intention into the crystal. And what else would I say? Would anybody else have any suggestions for working with crystals? I mean, there's also plenty of art. Go ahead,
I
please.
understand that putting it in the moonlight helps. Is that true or false?
I believe it does. I think it's kind of like either sometimes I will put them on the land, bear them on the land on these special solar occasions like eclipses or full moons or something like that. And it's just the same thing as doing a Bach remedy essence flower, where you put the flowers in a bowl and then you put it in the moonlight overnight and it absorbs that energy, right? So I love putting the crystals on the land, and clearing them is a very easy thing to do. I usually use just, my simple technique is to run it under cold water and then just intend that the crystal is clearing. You know, our thoughts are very powerful, and the crystal will respond. So, best to you on your new journey with this exploration with crystals. That's so cool, super cool. Go, brother man.
I suggest the amethyst and the lapis will start. It will help you it will calm your mind and your body. So, and then they'll start allowing you to feel the energy come into your body's field.
Okay.
So then you'll be able to make the distinction, like he's saying, when you start speaking to the other rocks, it'll be clear for you. The one that he's holding is the quartz, and that's one of the base ones as well. But
It's a
when
master
I'm
healer.
introducing people to the stones, the lapis and the amethyst seem to work the best too as introductory stones.
Okay, so I have a question. I have this
Yeah.
like amethyst, that's like the geode, the one that's like the one that's like
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
But it's really cloudy, and like, and I've like tried to clean it, and in different ways, like with smoke and like with salt water, and it just looks like really cloudy. I feel like it just has this energy. I can feel that it's like not clear.
Oh, okay,
So I
okay.
don't know if you have suggestions on like different ways of cleaning.
How big is it?
Salt water
It's like-
will help you
It's like
clean
this
it.
big.
Okay.
Clear and clean, salt, rock salt and water. Or like she was saying, if you're still using the moon, you can charge your crystals in the moon.
Yeah. If you've already tried the soaking it in the salt water, I'm not sure what would help that. But if you're feeling like it's just an energetic thing, then maybe find a place on the land. Are you here in Sedona?
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix.
Okay, find a natural place that you feel nice vibes from, and cover it up, put it in a little baggie, and then bury it overnight, and maybe that will clear that energy out. What would you like to say, Laura?
Sound might help too.
Ooh, hadn't thought of that. Tell me about that. What would you?
Just an awareness that crystals are neither solid nor not solid. They are something in between because they are constantly vibrating. And so obviously frequency is the same, right? Sound is always moving. And so crystals and sound are very symbiotic. And so either a crystal bowl or even singing into your crystal or doing something with solfeggio frequency, something of that nature may actually, the crystal may have a response to it.
Oh, beautiful. And you can find those frequencies on YouTube, or
Sure,
if you
for
can't,
sure.
if you don't have a crystal ball or something like that.
Or you can just sing to
I
it.
do. I work with that.
Yeah, there we go. So there's a good connection there. I love that. I love that. I think I've got about 5 more minutes here, so we could roll through 5 minutes of doing a technique from Marcel Vogel on how to do a little healing on somebody. So, does anybody want to come up and have a little session with my altar crystal here? Well, somebody, I can't pick. I don't want to pick. Who wants to come up? Oh.
There you go.
Okay, so let me grab a chair.
Yes.
This is awesome. I'm going to try to do this with this microphone. Okay, so have a seat right here. And I'm going to be right here. Maybe you could hold this microphone for me. Maybe come back. Come back here, okay. And let me flip you around here. So if you're holding that, then I can access your chest. There you go. Let's do it that way. That'll be better. Okay, so this happens to be a double terminated. This happens to be a double terminated crystal here, and ice cream. Yay! Oh, thank you, love. So. The way I learned from Marcel Vogel, he's got these YouTube videos on how to work with crystals and do healing work. And he is suggesting that we have a thymus gland, which is, if we have this little notch in our collarbone here, and then come down about 3 fingers, that's our thymus gland. And he was suggesting to come into the thymus gland, not touching her. What's your name? Caroline, that's her. Carla. Oh my gosh. Shoot, I'm nervous up here. It's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to come in kind of counterclockwise and then have my hand behind her back here. And then what I'm going to do is starting this circular motion. And I want you to tell me when you can start to feel some energy from this crystal. Okay, now you're feeling the energy moving through my hands, through this crystal. And now what I want us to do is kind of synchronize our breaths. Okay, so start breathing. So I'm synchronizing with you. And then do you feel like sharing what you can keep it to yourself, what you're trying to do right now? Or you can say it out loud if you want to. Do you want to keep it to yourself? Okay, just keeping it to yourself. All right, so now what we're trying to do here is get to the root cause of it, because all ailments come from either disease and malignant energies come from a thought first or a trauma or however that works, okay? So what I want you to do is think about where this is in your body, okay? And I'm going to kind of tune into you and go to that spot as well. And what we're going to do is pull this out, okay? And be sure when you do this not to drop the crystal and pull it out of your hand. So I got my finger kind of over the tip here. Okay, so we're going to pull this out. We're going to do it 3 times. Going to the root cause. Pulling the root cause. One more time. Going to the root cause. Releasing the root cause. Okay. Now what I want to do is to go through the whole chakra system in an oval manner. Balance all your chakras. And then the last thing is to tell me you're a wonderful person and that I love you. You're so welcome. Yes. Should we take that? Okay, she got this one. Should we, anybody else want to come up? Till I get kicked out, come on up, brother. 2 minutes. Okay. If you want to. That'd be wonderful. Thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie's awesome. She is a very talented reader. Can you say that? No, it was.
I'm an angelic master's like this. I connect through touch transmissions.
Beautiful.
Just think
See her out here, but
I'm going to be talking to
okay. Are you ready to go? Or am I holding you up? Okay. All right, Brother Dan. Let's do this. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to come into counterclockwise. Come into the thymus gland here. state, transpose the time before the accident. Let's all hold that, a healing from a brother here. Group healing, group consciousness effort here. You're a wonderful person, brother, and I love you. You're awesome. You know everything. You want to take this day, okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for spending a few minutes with me.